obviously learned a lot from this last game. It was a fun game, fun ride home, very enthusiastic. There wasn't just a whole lot of sleeping, even though they were tired. That was a fun ride home. That's how we've always wanted it to be, and our challenge now is to make sure that we learn from it so we continue to have those types of feelings. One of the things that as a coach you always worry about is that some things that you needed to learn from kind of get covered up in times when you win. And we as a coaching staff are putting a lot of time and effort into making sure that the things that could have gotten us beat or could have kept us from winning that game, or the things that kept us from maybe even winning it more decisive, that those things don't just go to the wayside, that we address those things, because those are going to be the things that are going to help us moving forward. So we learned a lot held last week because of a eligibility issue, and we're just excited to have him back on the field for this week.
So there's nothing guaranteed that he'll be around the rest of the season?
He was withheld because of an eligibility issue, and we're excited to have him back on the field this week.
Was it academic eligibility?
That's all I can say now.
There's a highlight of Puka on YouTube from his high school career where instead of stiff arming the guy, he jumps up and kicks him in the chest. Is that illegal playing? Have you ever seen that before?
I can't imagine that that's illegal. I have not seen it. I've seen guys try to jump over folks, but for some reason that doesn't surprise me. But I don't know how I missed that one. I think I turned it off about 4 plays into it because you knew he was that good of a player. But I've never seen that. That's a good question. I don't think you can do it, to be honest with you.
The ref probably doesn't know. It's probably not in the rule.
Well, I mean, that's something I got to ask. It's pretty good. Because if they can, we may be starting to institute a new kind of stiff leg instead of stiff arm. We'll see. Cool moment for our entire team. I took the ball and just threw it over to Puka because he had a great game, and really we were pointing out to a bunch of folks. I grabbed it and kind of threw it over towards the defense because that ball's about those guys. Joe, Daniel, those guys have won a long time without being able to see a road win, so they certainly deserve that ball a hell of a lot more than I did. Well, it absolutely can be a coachable thing. You get what you emphasize in our game. I say it all the time. You're going to get what you emphasize. I coached receivers for a long time, and if you want them to run a 12-yard route, you better tell them it's 14 because they're always going to be 2 yards short. I mean, it's just a general rule in our game. If you want to make them see it to the tuck, they better see it to the tuck, and they better tuck the pair of socks their mom tosses them. Because if they don't, it won't become muscle memory to them. So it's all the same. Our coaches, Coach Bowen and those guys, have made a total commitment to really getting the ball out. We watched a team in our conference go from not a very good defense to a pretty good defense by getting the ball out a lot. They changed themselves, and we put some of the same emphasis on that in the off season. And Clinton, those guys have done a great job. I mean, there's guys ripping and roaring at that ball all day, every day. I mean, when there's a drop pass, we're scooping it like it's a fumble. We want to make sure that we're getting used to doing that, right? So that's been good. It's very deliberate in that regard. And then, the touchdown by Shaq, I mean, that to me showed a little bit of growth in our defense because what he was supposed to do there, he did. He sunk and he stayed underneath the corner route and still was going to be able to rally to play the underneath throw. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and it paid off. Absolutely. We draw on a lot of the things that several of us were here for that. And I keep looking at these guys behind you because those guys mean so much to us and me and this program. I mean, you've got some of the best in the history of the game that are on the wall back behind you. But Todd is a guy that has exemplified really kind of what it means to be a great Kansas football player. And that's just a hard-nosed, blue-collar, underestimate you, and I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to play with a chip that is only driven by me being better and me being better for Kansas. And that's the thing I always loved about Todd. He was always about our team, always about our team. And then really just his competitiveness is something that I've always utilized with our team is how much that cat competed. I mean, we used to go throw the ball around on Friday for about 5 minutes, and he would go play receiver every week. And, man, he would get pissed if he didn't get open and make the catch. I mean, he's just a competitive dude. He really is. The really high-level ones, they're like that. Johnny was like that. Todd's like that. They're both from Central Texas guys. But I mean, I've said it before. I mean, that guy is a really talented guy. So deserving. I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for his teams. I'm happy for Coach Mangino. Coach Mangino chose that guy. You know, when nobody else did, Coach Mangino chose him. A lot of credit goes to Coach. Man, sometimes it's those decisions like that that can change a program. And thank goodness for Coach. He chose that guy because he wound up being a really, really great player here.